I came in through data. My mom actually said, "Oh, I got an A for that math in my work. I got like basically very best student and everything. So I looked like a numbers
Wow.
girly, right? So she saw the
Yeah.
scholarship to like learn data, and she's like, "Oh, I'll be a good fit for the scholarship." Basically, community has always been like a part of my growth and has been a part of like my life. Basically, like it has really shaped me and like helped me see the opportunities. Right? Really looking back, I would say
Yeah.
I was one to make an impact. Like I've always wanted to like make an impact. And coming from this, in my secondary school, I was bullied, like throughout my entire stay in secondary
Okay.
school. Like, and I felt so alone. And I think
Why?
that's why, like, oh, when they bully me, oh, they bully me. Oh.
I'm curious
So
why. Why would they just
I
bully
don't know.
you?
I
What
don't
kind
know.
of secondary
I
school
don't
did
know.
you
I
go
don't know
to?
what for me it's really impact, and that impact spans across onboarding people, connecting people to resources. Because again, I came into this plan and I felt very alone, and it felt like I had to do all the hard work. I had to basically like search for
Okay.
resources. I had to search for scholarships, and I don't want anybody to basically have to go through that very long process because it can be very draining from job hunting,
Yeah.
from finding the right place for you, right? So I really love onboarding. I love when I have to play a part in somebody's growth. Like they can say, "Oh, I really like editing and I actually got the job." I really feel like a sense of purpose, right? So anything onboarding,
Yeah.
anything impacts, I love it. I can literally not sleep because of that. I'll say first off is find God, serve God, love
Okay.
God, because you need to have a very strong anchor. With that alone, say if you're, like you are made already. Then I'll say up next is also get exposure, attend events, meet
Fire.
people, ask questions, network. When you actually meet people, you don't know who can help your life. You honestly don't know who can help your life. So really get exposure, attend
Yeah.
events, network, meet people, read books, right? Join communities. Then I'll say, lastly, rather, don't be afraid to just start. It can be let's say like a business, like let's say selling clothes, doing makeup. There's money
Yeah.
everywhere, right? But really understand what you can do that you can really dominate that field, right? So I'll say first off, find God, serve God, and love God. Second, get exposure, attend events, read books, network, really upskill. And then lastly, just start. Start messy, start anyhow. Just start something. And if you learn and it fails, do nothing again. So like continue doing until you find your field. So yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Learn with Me series. This is episode 3, and today I have an amazing guest with me. Someone I've been going through what she has been doing for a while now, and today I have Ivy. Hello, Ivy. Nice to have you here.
Hi. Hi.
Yes, yes. So, Ivy, like, how do you pronounce your surname? Like, I would have said it, but I don't want to say it wrongly, so I just
I get that a lot. It's not a problem. It's pronounced Elebesunu. Elebesunu.
Elebi. Okay, Elebisunu.
Elebesunu. Yes. Elebesunu.
Elebisunu.
Yes.
Okay, okay. That is good. So, Ivy Elebisunu, welcome to the Learn with
Yes.
Me series. Yes.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So, yeah, it's nice to have you here. So, recently I've been seeing a lot of your work. Like, I've been seeing you on like everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Yeah, yeah. So, and I was like, yes, who is this young lady? And that is doing amazing stuff, by the way. So I was like, yes, I have to have her on board here. So like how would, like, I know you are in into content, you are also into marketing, but like how would you describe yourself, right? So I think I might not do enough justice describing you, so I would like you to
Okay.
like introduce yourself, describe yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that I am a data driven content and branding strategist. So, in very simple terms, I help brands get their target audience through content, and I'm also building a personal brand in marketing. So, I believe both are like together, and I'm basically just, let's say, doing my craft. I'm basically speaking my, or rather, I'm doing the talk, if that's the thing. Like, I'm doing what I
Okay.
say I do, even for myself. So, I think that's like the best I can put it.
Yeah. Okay, so you're also building your brand. Nice. What brand is that? Like so I know you, there's this account you're also running called Hidera.
Hedera.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it took me a while for me to figure out that, oh, this is still Ivy, but then she has her page, and she's also running something called Hidera. Like, is this your own brand, or there's another brand that I don't know?
It's basically the same thing. So for me, because when I came into the space, I came into through data, like the regular tech space. So let's say I
Okay.
have built an audience for just that, like basically onboarding people into tech, data and marketing. That's
Yeah.
basically what I'm all about, right? Now with Hedera,
Okay.
I basically do the same thing, like data and marketing in Web3, but because I have a very different audience, like tech people are like different are different from Web3 people, right? So that account was to
Okay.
like specifically cater to just Web3 people. So if you're a newbie looking at like getting into this space, that account is like, oh, your go-to account. But if you are a newbie in tech, or
Okay.
like you want to go in tech, then Ivy is your girl, like from resources to everything. So yeah, that's basically, it's still the same thing. And to be very fair, Hedera means Ivy,
Yeah.
because Ivy is a plant,
Okay.
and the meaning is Hedera. Like,
Okay.
so it's still the same thing, really. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would not lie, I actually did like a research on the name, like what Hedera actually meant. And I saw that it was like a Latin word that also meant like ivy. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So you decided to like have like two brands, still you, but then like two brands. Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. So I can also see that you are big on community, right? So you have Grow with Ivy, you have Tech and Techies, and I'm sure there might be other communities you are part of, right? Like even today, yeah, today I saw on Go with Ivy that you posted like an opportunity that if people are interested, they can join. Yeah, so like how did you get started in this space? Like how like I have kind of ideas because I've done a lot of research, right? And but I just want like people that might not know you and people that are just getting to know you. Like, how did you get started in this space? Like, how did you get to this point now where I think literally you're posting every day? Yeah. So, how did you get to this point of being a marketing expert, or I don't know if you're an expert now or yeah, but in marketing, strategist and also in communication. Yeah. So how did you get to this space?
Okay, so again, I came in through data. My mom actually said, "Oh, I got an A for that math in my work. I got like basically very best student and everything. So I looked like a numbers
Wow.
girly, right? So she saw the
Yeah.
scholarship to like learn data, and she was like, "Oh, I'll be a good fit for the scholarship, right?" So I actually applied and actually got the scholarship to learn data. And at that time, I think it was 2020, and Unilag had not yet like done their post TME, right? So I had like a lot of free
Yeah.
time like during that time, right? So I got in through data. But now the thing is that I think I was the only, will I say, like young person in a community of like people done with school working. And I think I was even 16 at that point, so I couldn't really relate like that, right? So I felt very alone. So I
Yeah.
joined She Code Africa. I also like I was like very big on events as well. So I went to this event. I think Web3 Delights. Yeah, Web3 Delight. I think that was in 2022. Or I can't really remember the date exactly, sure. Then I met somebody, my current partner, right, and he brought me to and like told me about DeFi. So from there, I joined many
Okay.
DeFi and DeFi. So basically, community has always been like a part of my growth and has been a part of like my life. Basically, like it has really shaped me and like helped me see the opportunities. Right, that's like so. I think now having like my own community was just like very unplanned in code, because I'm like, they're
Okay.
always asking me, "Oh, Ivy, what's the next event?" Ivy was, and I cannot like tell people like it's really my energy. So I'm like, you know what? I can put you all in one place and share it once. Like, so I'm basically reaching more people like with less energy. So that was basically what brought about TNT and Grow with Ivy. So yeah.
Okay. But then why two communities? Like why what is the difference between the two communities? Yeah.
Okay.
Like go with Ivy and TNC. Tech and techies.
Now, so for me, they are the same thing. They're the same thing.
Okay.
TNT is more, will I say, you can chat there. Where Go with Ivy is just like an alert deck. So if you actually miss a message on TNT, you can just like you can
Okay.
see the message, like it is focused on Go with Ivy. So it's still the same. It's still the same communities. Like, oh, I'm just like
Okay.
making making like resources more focused. We grow with Ivy, like so nobody can like
Okay.
see like messages on the group chat. It's like just resources there and everything is just straight. That
Okay.
that was the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you have a more like focus, like even though they are like two different entities or like community, but then you have a niche of where which and like how both of them are playing. Yeah, so that makes
Exactly.
sense. That makes sense. How do one join TNT? Like I know I see the updates on like X, but like I don't know if there's a special channel or so. But I know I'm
That's
on Go. Yeah.
there is so like for TNT we're actually based on Telegram. So we have a community of people on
Okay.
Telegram. So if you like click on the link in the bio on I think on Instagram and on Twitter as well, like we have a link tree that you see Telegram and our LinkedIn. So Telegram is basically the community. That's like just how to join. It's very
Okay.
very straightforward, no application, no nothing. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. So so for everyone watching, please, if you want to get updates, go and join our community. Yeah, and get updates on there. Yeah, so now I see that to sum everything up you've said so far, you've branded like yourself in multiple ways. You have two communities. Even on X, you have like two I don't want to say personality, but like there's Ivy on one side, there's Idera, which is stay Ivy, right? So yeah, it's nice. So Ivy, I have this question I'm just going to ask. Like as of now, what are you passionate about? Like, what is your passion like in this space? Like, what are you passionate about?
I would say for me, it's really impact, and that impact spans across onboarding people, connecting people to resources. Because again, I came into this plan and I felt very alone, and it felt like I had to do all the hard work. I had to basically like search for
Okay.
resources. I had to search for scholarships, and I don't want anybody to basically have to go through that very long process because it can be very draining from job hunting,
Yeah.
from finding the right place for you, right? So I really love onboarding. I love when I have to play a part in somebody's growth. Like they can say, "Oh, I really like editing, and I actually got the job." I really feel like a sense of purpose, right? So anything onboarding,
Yeah.
anything impact, I love it. I can literally not sleep because of that. So yeah,
Yeah, that's very good. So you're passionate about impacting those that are just starting out their career,
yes,
helping their journey easy, right? So
yes,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So I noticed like last when I asked like how you got started, you mentioned your mom was the
yeah,
one that actually brought in like this, I think scholarship. You mentioned scholarship, right?
hmm
Yeah, so she talked about the scholarship that was related to maths, and then you jumped on the opportunity, and from there you got into data analytics, right?
yes,
Oh, yes. So now I know you are in the marketing space, and so I also funny I don't even know what like Marcom stands like what it stood for. So I saw it on your profile. I was like, oh, what does Marcom even stand for? Marketing communication. Yeah. So that was like interesting. So let me just digress to another question. I was going to ask something else, but let me ask this. So from like Marcom, you're into marketing communication and you're also into data. What does that really mean? Like if someone that does not know anything like comes to you and says like, "Oh, I saw your profile, you're into Marcom, and I saw that it was marketing communication." Like, okay,
hmm
what does that mean in I know it goes just beyond tech, right? So like what does that mean to you? Like how would you describe that to like someone completely new that just wants to like know more about what you do and is saying, okay, what is Marcom? What is data? Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So for me, I would say they are almost the same thing, but it's just like I am practicing data in marketing. That's like
Okay.
the basic way of explaining it. I'm just doing like data analytics in marketing. So now in my intro, I was like I am a data driven marketing I be content and branding specialist, right? Now
Okay.
Markham just simply means I help brands communicate their value to the right audience. And now how do I get that audience? Through insights. Insights mean data, right? And data
Okay.
like it doesn't have to be numbers per se. It could be their what's it called now? Their user behavior. What's it called? It could be a platform. how do they relate there? What are the peak times? So like basically things like that. Anything has to do with, like, will I say, what's it called, understanding insights to get results in marketing, in communicating value. Like, now, how did you find me, my socials or whatever, right? That's basically how you
Yeah.
found me. So yeah, that's basically Marcom in a very, will I say, beginner friendly way. Yeah.
Okay. So Macom is making use of data and then marketing it to like in a way that is accessible, right? To make people come to like get that service that
It's
you're offering.
it's
Or
it's it's in simple terms, it's basically
okay,
using data to be more visible to people. Using data to be
okay.
more visible to the right people. So yeah.
Using data to be more visible to people. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, so on your profile, there's also something I noticed. I said I'm going to ask about. There are two chess piece. I don't know. So I play chess. I'm not very good, but I a while back I played for like a long time, and now I'm sure
Yeah.
I'm rusty. Yeah, but like, is it that you play chess? I know you are good at maths, and I know some people that are good at maths
Eh,
things like play chess. But like, what's the meaning behind that?
First off, I am horrible at chess. Horrible. That actually is crazy.
Okay,
In my field, we have communities, and most times
okay,
you if you belong to a community, you actually put the emojis with your name. So that chess icon
okay,
just means I belong to Nirvana community. Yes, that's the simple meaning.
okay. You
Nirvana.
said you've come to.
Sorry,
Sorry, I did not get you. You said you've come to what community?
I belong to Nirvana. Like, that's where I learned DeFi and Web3. So like
Okay. So that is Nirvana community like symbol or
Nirvana, like Nirvana bottled water. That Nirvana,
oh,
yeah.
okay, okay, wow. So they had a community of like Web3.
No, I'm
Oh,
just trying to like get like let you get the name. Oh, they don't have a community.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So that was just something I saw. I was like, oh, okay, why this? Because I noticed you did it on your profile and also on
Hedera.
Hedara, yeah, Hedara. Yeah, so yeah. So far you've touched on like the marketing aspects and you've
Yeah.
touched on data and also we've had like now I have like a broad like understanding of what you do. So the next question I'm going to ask is about like hmm yes, so yes, so it's about the challenge you did a while back. So I
Okay.
noticed while scrolling on your Instagram feed, I noticed that you did this challenge like for 14 days where you were job hunting, you were posting a lot of videos about your progress, about life and everything in between. Yeah, so like what prompted you to take that action? So yeah, because yeah, like someone like there are many people out there that would not take like action. I'm sure you have like a job now. I know you have a job now. So what prompted that action? Like I know before that time you've started like posting already, but like so the question is, let me just ask and stop and let you answer. So the question is, what prompted the action for you starting the 14 days challenge of job hunting? Yes.
Okay, so I think for me, I feel like prior to this, I was kind of known for always doing consistency challenges. Like, I've done 20, like I've done, I think, 14 days on LinkedIn, 30 days on LinkedIn, and
Okay.
I would have a group where I would have like consistency challenges because I'm very very big on building in public, right? So, and I think I
Okay.
was getting on because I think on TikTok I had like a career series, right? So I was talking about job hunting tips, I was talking about XYZ, right? And I was getting tons of questions as to, oh, how do I get job? How do I do this? I'm like, you know what? Let me be the case study. Because even when I was like job hunting at that time, I was building in public. I actually had a job on the side, but I was like running a test run. Like, okay, let me show you guys that
Okay.
you can actually get a job from a consistency challenge, right? So that was basically
Okay.
what prompted it, right? And yeah, so really, it was just like when I say validating like the tips I was sharing on my socials. That okay, you know what, I'm going to implement what I'm telling you guys to do, and
Okay.
I'll be posting results consistently. So that was like the prompts, and yes, it got me. I think about 5 offers from that chat. I actually got
Wow.
5. Yeah, and I think in December I even quit job I was even working at that time. Like when I was in the challenge, I actually quit the job because of some reason I'll not
Okay.
disclose. But yeah, so yeah, that was really the reason.
Wow. So you wanted to like actually like practicalize what you've been preaching about,
Precisely.
and
Precisely.
yeah. So that is interesting. Not many people would do that, right? Um so you literally started from scratch and like say, okay, I'm going to job hunt, and you said you got 5 offers. And am I correct to say you accepted one of the offers after the whole process? Oh,
Let's just say I accepted to, because I had to like. I the other one was on my neck. Like they were like, please. So I had to tell them, okay, I work with you on a contract basis, right? So
okay. Wow. So you accepted too. Wow, wow, that's interesting. So you mentioned something again. You mentioned building in public, right? And I know this is one way that you've built in public, and you've done something in public and then it's yielded results. So what advice do you have for people coming up now in their career? They just you're still in school. We're going to talk about that. You're still in school. Like that alone, oh my God, is amazing. Like I don't think, well, my school, yeah, let me not talk about myself. Yeah, but you're still in school, you're doing like all of these things, and I'm like, wow, like if I'm to compare myself, like like in school, then would I be chance to do out? No, I don't think so. Yeah, so that alone is amazing, right? And but what do you have for people that are just getting started in their career, right? Like you've built in public, they can learn from
mhm.
you, but then sometimes like there are people that just need an eye opener to like things that are possible out there. So what advice would you like to give to those that are just starting out, and
Mm.
they obviously they know they are to build in public, right? But then how do you go about it? Because I'm sure it's not everybody that video is going to help, or like creating like video and saying, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not, that is not for everyone, right? So yeah, so like how do you balance it? Like how do you find what works for you and then go about that while still building in public? Yeah.
Okay. So I would say for me, I didn't actually start video content creation. Like I started from like just making tweets or like making posts about what I do. Like if yeah,
Okay.
I think I started with LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn was like my first encounter with social media. Like I started from LinkedIn. From LinkedIn, I went to Twitter. From Twitter, I went to Instagram. I didn't just start because at that time I think I was using a Techno WX3. So how do I even want to do video? How do I want to do video? So I was just like
Yeah.
post a picture and I'll like put like a very detail about like let's say what I do and like what I'm looking for at that time, right? So I would say, but to answer the first question, like advice for newbies, I would say don't be afraid to look stupid. Because
Okay.
I remember like my first tweet on Twitter, the way I was overthinking, like I was like, should I post this thing? What if they drag me? I was just thinking of different scenarios, right? And looking back now, if I did not make that tweet, I don't think I would be where I am today because I got tons of followers, I got tons of advice. I like basically got to like a connection with people that I couldn't even dream of, right? So don't be afraid to look stupid. Like start messy in the sense that you don't have to have it all figured out. Like scrolling back, like my first post on LinkedIn, it was so trashy. Like it wasn't all that great, but I didn't want I didn't want to like wait for like my first iPhone or like I wanted to just
Yeah.
start. So just starting with what you have, and over time, like you would actually get better. And even like what when it comes to like like video content as well, my first video that I actually edited, it was so terrible. Like, and I'm using an iPhone, oh, but the color, the color grading, everything was just so jaga jaga. But if I did not practice right, like then right, I would say I've gotten better at like being more comfortable with the camera, right? But I like came from trash, like from horrible editing, from horrible caption, from
Yeah.
everything was horrible. Yeah. So that's the first part. Then for the second part, how to start, I would say really understand what you're looking for. Why do you want to build in public? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking to like have what's called brand deals? Are you looking to have a community of your own? So understand your why. For me, I was looking for a job, so I knew LinkedIn, X was like my best bet, because I noticed that
Yeah.
whenever I apply for jobs, most time it comes through a networking kind of base. Like they need to kind of know you, right? So, and again, like what makes you stand out from like others is basically like your brand, in the sense that, okay, let's say I'm into data and Toby is into data. How do I stand out? Oh, I'm into data and I also post content on data. So they can even see that, okay, I'm actually creating impact in my field, as compared to Toby that, like, let's say, like, has nothing on his social media or whatever, right? So, like, that basically
Yeah.
giving me an edge. So understand your why. Are you looking for a job? Okay, then now find a platform that basically aligns to your goal. Again, it could be like, okay, it could be like, well, I say a challenge for, like, let's say, posting your projects. It might not be a video. It could be like, let's say a code challenge, a writing challenge, and like a text basis, a carousel basis challenge. So like really understand your why, and like pick a platform that also aligns with your goal in view. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So you mentioned don't be afraid to start stupid or to look stupid, and you
Mhm.
mentioned just start, and also you mentioned understand your why. So these are ways for you to get started and like start building in public, right? So
Yeah.
some things that will differentiate you from the average person out there. So yeah, yeah, that's amazing. So I noticed that you started this thing like where you create guides, and then you like I got three of your guides, and one you talked on finding your parts in tech, right? So everyone watching this, please go get that guide. It's very, very detailed. I can tell you took your time to really like um to craft the guide on its own, right? So yeah, there were some points you mentioned there. I was like, yes, this girl knows what she's talking about. Yes. So now let's talk about school, right? I'm really curious in that aspect. How are you able to juggle your schooling and this whole um career of yours now? Like how do you balance it all? How do you balance it all? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say first off, I'll just say I'm thanking God, because God has been my anchor. I'm a very huge vocal Jesus person, because looking back, Seth, I know like I would have days that, like, now 2 days ago I actually did not sleep. I was up, I was shooting videos, I was also reading for my exam, because
Okay.
I'm currently writing my exams. Like I'll be writing them in, I think, a week or two. So like,
Okay.
and even at everything, like there's always just wisdom as to how to like create a schedule that works, how to read, how to even read well, because it's wanting to read well. So how to really read well. So
Yes.
God has been my anchor. He has been, like, he has really helped and given me clarity, and also taught me how to balance things, right? And I think that's why I'm like very big on anybody that like wants to get into like their career, and it's also a student, because
Yeah.
I think there was a time I actually took a break from, I think, from my social media. I think for like about a month. That was on Twitter. I think in I think around September I was not active. But even despite me not being active, I still got jobs and I was really focusing on school, right? And you'll be wondering how, but we have favor, like when God is with you, you find things come to you with ease, with no
Yeah.
stress, with no like, with no battle per se. So yeah, I would say like God has really like given me like wisdom in that aspect, and also like having a very good support system. Like now in school, I have friends that would help me. Or I have material. Or there's class. So let's go. Like they actually keep me accountable in that sphere. Like Ferrak,
Okay.
God bless you. Ferrak, you actually do. God bless you. Ferrak, Favor, my friends, like they are huge support system. And even in my career, like now I know Web3, I have Halim, I have Kumi, like I have friends that actually really care, right? So I don't have
Yeah.
to know it all, but I have friends that know it, like that like know an aspect. So like we come together and like we combine forces and like we make beautiful things happen. So yeah, I would say having God number one, having a very good support
Okay.
system number two, and also keep yourself accountable, because like if you don't know what you want, like in school now, I know, okay, I want to have this grade, and I'm putting in the work. And if anything happens, I know it is my fault. Like there's no how I will read or and everything. I can say, okay, Ivy, truly, I was lazy here. Like, learn to like hold us accountable as well. So I'd say, yeah, God, support system, and accountability. Yeah.
Accountability. Yeah. So that's amazing, right? So good luck with your exams, your upcoming
Thank
exams, by
you.
the way. Yes. So you mentioned God and having a good support system and having keeping yourself accountable. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's amazing. I also noticed you had you still have you have like a faith-based account. So yeah, that's yeah. So when you talk about having faith, like I can say yes, yes, Ivy is doing all of this. So yeah, wow, like school, wow. That's interesting. Like I know you study economics.
Yes.
I'm just curious, out of curiosity, like why economics? So you mentioned from I guess secondary school, you had a good understanding of maths, and your mom even knew that you had interest in
Mhm.
maths. So why? And I don't know, but I'm guessing like when your mom got you that scholarship, was this before uni or like what time was this? Was this before uni or like you were already in the university when you got that scholarship?
So
Like
I
what
had just
was it?
finished secondary school. I had just finished
Okay,
secondary school, so it was like that's like after secondary school. Like I think that same year, I believe in
yeah,
I think in September or be August or thereabouts. So like that was when like when it happened. I was to write my positemi
okay.
in I think that same year, but Unila kept on pushing it. So I had to write the positemi afterwards. So it was really immediately after secondary school.
Oh wow.
But yeah.
Okay, okay. Then you had like a lot to figure out, and I guess, maybe economics was just there, and like. Okay, okay, no, no.
No,
So,
for me, like I knew I was going to study economics in my GS3. I just
oh, okay,
I knew because I think I I even got like the material like my uni textbook. I got it in SS1,
okay,
so I knew I wanted to study economics because I love how it like basically blended numbers and also like real life scenarios. Like I could basically understand
mm,
scarcity. I could I could
yeah,
understand pricing like mechanisms, right? So I knew okay, economics was like the perfect like it was the blend of both. And accounting now. Sorry to say, I don't really like accounting. Like I can pass it though, because I'm even doing icon and I've already I've already like finished like my first stage. I'm like currently like
okay,
my almost done stage, right? So I can
stage,
pass it,
yeah,
but then I found it very boring. Like what do you mean that I no stress? I want something that will make me think. I want something that basically
yeah,
like helps you understand like what is happening in this like in this country in this country in the world as well, right? So economics was like the blend of both maths and also life. So that's why I picked economics and yeah. So that's it.
yeah. That's interesting. That's good. So you picked economics because it's a combination of life and maths. Yeah.
Yes.
So you had background in maths, or like you were very good in maths, and then that
I am still
led
very
you
good in math.
to, yeah, sorry, sorry, you are still very good in maths, and that led you to economics, right? Because of the foundation you had, and that
Yeah.
also led you to like data analytics, right? And then now marketing, right? So I can see there's like a relationship between like
Exactly.
all everything you've jumped into. There's like
Mm-hmm.
some sort of like relationship between them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like someone that is just getting started, right? Maybe they look up to you and
Mm.
I don't know why I'm holding this pen. Let me drop it. Yeah, so they look up to you and then they say, like I know you've touched on this in your write-up in the guide you wrote. I just want you to touch on it again. So, maybe they have a passion that they have something they know they are good at an early age, right? I'm sure your mom also knew that yes, this my girl is good at math, right? So now someone starting out, they're still in secondary school, right? They don't know much, they don't know the possibilities that are out there, but now
Yeah.
they at least they know they have something, they are good at something. Like how do you take what you know that you are good at and then transition it to like something else, something this big. Like you know, your starting journey has taken you to several other fields, right? So like what advice would you give to someone like let's say they are passionate about money. They just like money, sha. That's a bad
Okay.
example, yeah. But yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, I
Yes.
get the point. I think for me, for
Okay.
starters, I was saying, looking back at me, that Markham as well. I did not. Will I say I didn't like find it. I had to do research because I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm doing data. I'm doing marketing, but it seems like there is more to this. So I went on Google and I just searched how can I blend data and marketing, and it brought up marketing and communication Marcom, and that was how I actually found out Marcom. So I would say exposure plays a very major role in actually like what I say like finding paths or like helping to see possibilities, right? And I'm one that I love attending events, mixers, seminars. I really love attending events, and I would say it has shaped me like and also like shaped how I see things. Because I remember like when I was still like quite I'm still young by the grace of God. I'm still young in Jesus' name. When I was very very young, I was very young. I used to like go for what's called win-based events, and I was always the youngest. Like imagine seeing a 16-year-old in a room full of like 35, 40 people, 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I would like basically like I would hear them talk about money markets, what's called capital and things like that. Like and I was like, okay, you know what? I think there is more even like outside tech, we still like have regular fintech. We have healthcare. We have like different operations. Like we have different things that are not really tech, but like can still also give you the money, right? But I think now
Yeah.
really looking inward. Okay, so if you like money, all well and good, fine. What do you do effortlessly? What do you do that you love? Like that people say, Omo, you're like very good at this thing. Like I do it very effortless. I think for me it was okay, maths, statistics, good. And what else again? I'm like a very, very huge social media person as well. Like I can like come up with a connect calendar for you that will give you followers. Like I'm very good at like strategy, right? So I would say look
Yeah.
inward. What do you do effortlessly? Now for me, okay, I went to go and I'm like, okay, how can I blend data and kini and the bottom Marcom? You I'm nervous. You can use tools or like Google and like there is even this
Okay.
thing, compass here as well. But like really I'll say don't be afraid to like do the work. And I'll say this again. I think people are becoming lazy in the sense that I think over the past week I can count over 25 DM that I've got it from. Please, I want to get into tech. Help me. Now, I'm not against helping you. I will gladly help you, but like, give like let me work with something. Don't come to me
Yeah.
empty-handed. Tell me what you okay. Oh, okay, Ivy. Oh, I'm good at this. I like to get into tech. Can you please advise me, not help me? Put context now. Like I want to work with
Yeah.
something, right? So I would say like don't be afraid to like put in the work. Learn to like learn to actually like when I say find out, Google stuff, go to Twitter, like search for things like and again try. For me, when I was doing data, I was enjoying it, yes, but I found more joy when I was using data in marketing, in like
Okay.
handling accounts. I was more happy, right? So I'm like, you know what? I want to just do it long term, right? I want to be happy in my career long term. So I made the switch from like pure data to Marcom because I was a lot happier. It gave me joy, right? So I would say look
Okay.
inward. What do you do effortlessly, right? And find a path that aligns with that innate skill. So yeah,
Yeah, so you first mentioned like seeking out like opportunities, like no, no, sorry, you mentioned also getting exposure, right? So that was the
yes,
word you used. So exposure and then looking inwards, doing the work, actually doing the work. And so and also when you're asking for advice, don't come empty-handed, right? So instead of or when you're asking for help, don't like you have something, you definitely have something. So you can talk on what you have, and then the
yes,
person helping would help based on what you
exactly.
have to get to where you likely want to be. Yeah, so that's an amazing answer, Ivy. Yes, so thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes, so I'm going to go back again to backstory. So like what was your first like job or
Okay.
like what job did you do that led you to this Macom like
hmm
phase that made you know that yes, this is what I'm good at and this is where I really want to be? Yeah.
Okay, so funny story. How I got into like marketing and data, I actually came. as a volunteer graphic designer. Oh
Okay.
my god! And
Wow. So
I
you've
was
done
very.
graphic design too.
I've done graphic design. No, I use Pixel Lab. I use
Okay.
Canva. So I actually came in as a graphic designer for a particular community, right? And it was unpaid, but it
Okay.
like helped me to see how good. Because I think from that job, I also like I like started handling their TikTok page and also their LinkedIn account as well, right? And I grew it from zero to over eight
Okay.
thousand followers. So I'm like, you know what?
Wow.
Okay, it seems like I'm actually good in this thing. Oh, let me try and explore more. So from there, I think I got a job as I think a content writer for FYCI. So I was like writing blogs for them on on gender, on politics, on upskilling and like things like
Okay.
that, right? So I was like basically getting better at like when I say owning like or was it honing my craft like refining my craft but rather, right? So yeah, I think from there I'm like, okay, you
Yeah.
know what, I think I'm actually like very good at this, or rather I find joy in like doing this thing, right? So I took a course by Google. I think that was the digital marketing course, and also by I think NYU on Coursera. Like it was on, I think, branding and also communication. I'm not so sure. I can't really remember, but I think along that line. Sha. So from there, I applied for jobs. I was like also like I was like really building it. I was like, I think I launched a newsletter. I launched my Medium account. I was like writing heavily on tech, on ops. I was trying like
Okay.
doing what I was trying practicing what I was learning. I was trying like doing everything like, okay, I'll practice this one and things like that, right? So I would say from there, like that was really how I like got really into marketing. From being from being a graphic designer to writer to SMM to then just building my thing. So yeah,
Yeah. So that wow. So sorry, what is SMM? Just so that I don't
social media
forget.
management. Social media
Oh yeah,
management.
yeah, makes sense. Social media management. So you jumped from, was graphics like the very first skill you like had to learn, or um
I
like
would say that
aside from
I
school?
would
Yeah.
so I would say no, because even when I was in secondary school, I was like helping my mom manage her Instagram account. So I was already like playing
Oh, okay.
around with like Canva and all this pixel app. Like I was already practicing then, but I had no idea what I was doing. I'm like I was like basically like just helping my mother with her page, right? So it wasn't planned per se. So when I saw like the opportunity like to actually go
Yeah,
and start to
okay.
be, and I just said, okay, you know what, I want to like meet more people. So that was why I picked up the role as a graphic designer, and I was like, will I say I was learning on the job? I was learning on the job. So yes,
Yeah. No, there's no problem learning on the job. So I like, I admire when like parents are inclined to like tech, not just tech, but like small things like Instagram and all those stuff. I think it helps, right? So just by helping your mom, you got exposure. Like I'm sure that time you did not know like there was something like social media management. I'm
I
assuming
had I
that
had,
you did not
I had
know.
no idea at
Yeah.
all.
So then, because of you've done that in the past, and let's say you even had to like do some graphics work and you also learned that, and all those little things that you could gather played a bigger like picture, like played a bigger role in getting you to where you are now. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I think one lesson I can draw from there is wherever you are now, I am talking to the audience. So wherever anyone is now, right? So don't um don't neglect the little beginnings of like where you've started, right? So the little things you are doing now, if it's even graphics, right? You might not be there forever, but then that knowledge is transferable from where you are using it to where you want to be, or where you might end up being as far as you keep pushing and learning. So yeah, so thank you Ivy for that response. That is amazing. So um like let's, because time is running out, let me just ask maybe two more questions before we round up.
Okay.
Yes, so yeah, um what like would you say is like your biggest is what has really helped you so far? Like, I know you've mentioned God, and yeah, but like what yeah. So what would you say is your biggest lesson through your journey, that has what have you done that's really like pushed you into going into several things and seeing how they play out? Because I'm sure you started, like you've mentioned, you started somewhere, you jumped from here, this to this and this and to that, right? But like, what has been like a motivation factor? This could be maybe even your parents, I don't know, but yeah. So what is that push that has pushed you into like from where you were to where you are now? Yeah.
Okay. So I would say, okay, I would say a lot really there. Of course, my parents, there's God most importantly, but I would say, really looking back, I would say
Yeah.
I was want to make an impact. Like I've always wanted to like make an impact. And coming from in my secondary school, I was bullied, like throughout my entire stay in secondary
Okay.
school. Like, and I felt so alone. And I
Why?
think that's why, like, oh, when they bully me, oh, they're bullying me. Oh.
I'm curious
So
why. Why would they just
I
bully
don't
you?
know. I
What
don't
kind
know.
of secondary
I
school
don't
did
know.
you
I
go
don't know
to?
whether I would call it. I actually went to a private secondary school. So it was a private secondary school and a very an expensive one at
Private
that time.
and
But
hmm,
I would say I'm just assuming whether it was just kids being kids, but I wasn't like that, so I don't know. I don't know. So I would say from I think from there I was one to really just really want to like help impact because I did not like bullying and I did not like us at that time they were saying my enemy is not me just like my enemy will not make it, my enemy will not buy a car because in secondary school I was a very quiet person. I didn't go to parties. I don't like loud noise. So I didn't go to parties. Even prom,
yeah,
I didn't really like going for prom. So most events I was very withdrawn and everything. So I think they found it as me, will I say showing off or something. I don't know. So I think that was like
okay,
whether it triggered for them. So like it was like and it hurts me a lot, right? So I'm like, you know what? I don't
yeah,
want any person to actually go through that. And I think that actually sparked my 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 interest in like actually like making an impact. Because for me, I'm particular about anti-bullying. I'm also particular about helping girls as well. Because at that time, a teacher, because I did not go to the science department, he said something that boys, how can you allow a woman to beat you academically? And that thing, it stabbed my heart. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show this man Shege. I'm going to be getting high marks, and the boys will be behind, which I did, by the way, which I did. So
okay,
I'm like, you know what? I don't like when like there's like a notion that oh boys should be better than girls, like let's say in their career or whatever. I'm not a feminist too. I'm not a feminist, but I just like when there is oh she's good and he's good too. There shouldn't be oh
yeah,
it's because he's a guy or something. I don't buy into that, right? So I would say that's one thing, like really making impact in what's it called. And I'll say also impact is expensive. I had like a program, was it like last year? I actually paid some fees for some students as well, right? And like I also had like a data scholarship as well, so, and it was like really self funded. So imagine spending like over two
okay,
million and you have no job. And like
hmm,
it's expensive. Like it's expensive, right? So I'm
yeah,
like, you know what? I want to actually be self sufficient. I want to be okay in all my emotional life, spiritual life, and everything, right? And I also want to be able to afford to create the impact I want to see. So I
yes,
can go to miles to ensure that I actually get to that level I want to be to actually see the impact I want to see or I want to make rather.
want to
So
see.
yes.
Yeah, so yeah, wow. So you've that desire of creating impact, I would say, is one thing that has really pushed you this far.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, so I know it's not everyone that like has like have the desire of like impact. So yeah, so yeah, like yeah, that's interesting. Um Impact. Yeah, so like I'm just thinking about like myself, like I too I grew up in a place of I was not bullied, but I know that I I was not, yeah, but I was kind of different. I and my friends were kind of different in secondary school. And I guess that also played like a part in my life that made me also like so now what I'm trying to do is also like to impact myself and also be impacted like first so that I can then serve like people too,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's also one of the goals of this like oh, I'm sorry for that.
No problem.
That's one of the goals of this series, also to learn from others and also see how others people can also learn from the others I bring on board and even myself. So that's interesting. So impact is really like a good motivating factor. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. So another question I would ask is you've talked on a lot actually. I don't even know if this question is useful, but I just want to ask um well, before I ask this, let me ask this first. Let me ask this question first. So, who do you look up to, like, as a mentor that has helped you in this phase? Because I know definitely you must have, be it even the events you attended. I know you said you attend a lot of events. So,
Yeah,
like the events you've attended, like is there someone or like multiple people that you look up to that shaped you into like who you are now? Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I like to say this everywhere I go to. For me, I am a Catherine Coleman girly. I love Catherine Coleman. I think ever since I actually read the book God's General, like that book was really an awakening for me.
Okay.
Like it was really so. I would say first Catherine Coleman. I just like her. I just like her. Then also I would say somebody like I really look up to that I've been looking up to for a while now is Ibuka Woshika. Oh my god, that woman,
Ibukum. Okay.
she has my heart, she has my heart a lot. And I think when I attended, I would say when I attended live series in 2023, that was the December edition. I spent over 70,000 naira to buy her books, and I don't regret it. I think even the tickets, I think I was 20K, and I think at that time I didn't really have a job. Oh. Like I was just managing myself. Oh. I'm like, no, I want to really invest. And till now, I can tell you that the nuggets I've gotten from that event, from even the books that I'm still getting, it is so worth it. And I think there was a video that I watched of her, and she said something that she would never trade her integrity. That that people have a notion that okay, whenever a woman is in power or like is in a is in a position of leadership, they assume that she had to sleep with somebody to get there. But she can proudly say that she has never and will never compromise her integrity. And I think that was so profound to me. I value my integrity so much. I want to be in a place where I am like, let's say what's called a marketing lead or a minister or something, and nobody can say they have to go under me or God forbid. I got it because I was
Yeah.
qualified to get there. And I'm going to work and prove it. Right. So she has my heart. She will always have my heart. Her books have really impacted me. Like I see things differently now. And she says, there, there's a word that she says, be true to thyself. That word. And I think before
Okay.
before I even like before I was like reading her books, I had like a mini prayer community called A Better Me by Ivy. So when I was in secondary school, I
Okay.
would always post quotes on Instagram and even like my WhatsApp then. And I would say, be you, do you, stay true. So when I heard her say, be true to that, I'm like, twins.
That-
So like, yeah, so I would say, yeah, I really respect her so much. She's somebody that I really admire, and yeah,
Yeah, that I'm really glad I asked this question. Yeah, so yeah, because I know as many people that are growing up doing amazing stuff, there must be someone that they look up to that is also like doing something maybe not really related to what they are doing, but then
hmm,
there's someone that you look up to that yes, if this person can get here, I also like to get here. So yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing. I also need to um do my research on like the two people you mentioned, Ibukun,
Awoshika,
I name, yeah, Awoshika, okay, Awoshika, yeah, and the other person, yeah, I would,
Catherine Coleman,
yeah,
you
because
should,
I,
you should.
Yeah, yeah, I should. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I'll do that. I'll do that. So I know I too have like I've been getting a lot of books. It's just the time to actually read them. I've started like I'm trying to. Yeah, there's also that like getting books is one thing, and actually reading them is another thing. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
something I am also working towards. Yes. So thank you, Ivy, for this amazing session, right? So before we,
True.
yeah, yeah, before we close, what would you say is that one thing that everyone should strive towards? Like, I'm young, and like you have you too, you're also young, right? So like every young ones should like strive towards getting right because I know now it's so easy to like get lost and like get distracted by there are so many things like people are there making money through social media through what they are doing online, and these days like the convention of how we young ones should grow, right, as the dynamics has changed, right? It's
Yeah.
not just going to school and maybe you get a job in medicine later on, right? So that whole dynamics has changed currently now, and not many, and the worst thing is that not a lot of teachers in secondary school are aware
Yeah.
of these new dynamics, right? So now as for people that are watching it, like I'm thinking even young ones that would probably watch this episode, right? What advice would you give? What last advice? What like just maybe one or couple of advice that you'd give that would spark because to like I feel young ones should know that there are possibilities out there, right? So
Yeah.
it's not just go to school and you become a doctor at the end. So yeah, so what's that like one advice? It could be one, could be two, it could be three, yeah, that you
Could be
can give.
many. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it
I
could be
think for
many.
me, I'll say first off is find God, serve God, love
Okay.
God, because you need to have a very strong anchor in a place that the the meta is changing. Like you will see some girls like let's say promoting is it hookup culture or something, or like or some girls like
Okay.
depending on a man. I don't buy into that. So first off is like find God, serve God, love God. With that alone, say like you are made already. Then I'll say up next is also get exposure, attend events,
It's
meet
fine.
people, ask questions, network. When you actually meet people, you don't know who can help your life. You honestly don't know who can help your life. So really get exposure, attend
Yeah.
events, network, meet people, read books, right? Join communities. Then I'll say, lastly, rather, don't be afraid to just start. It can be let's say like a business, like let's say selling clothes, doing makeup. You don't have to be into tech to make money. I know somebody that
Yeah.
I think she made over 100 million naira from just selling content tools.
Mm.
She's not into tech now. She's just
Wow.
selling ring light and she made
One.
over 100 million naira. So like the fact is that there is money everywhere. There's money
Yeah.
everywhere, right? But really understand what you can do that you can really dominate that field, right? So I'll say first off, find God, serve God, and love God. Second, get exposure, attend events, read books, network, really upskill. Then lastly, just start. Start messy, start anyhow. Just start something. And if you learn and it fails, do nothing again. So like continue doing until you find your field. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Ivy. Right. Like this session was really amazing. Thank you. It's my
Thank you
pleasure
for having
having you
me.
here. Yes.
Thank you for having
And yes. Thank you also for everyone watching. And see you in the next episode of the Learn with Me series. Thank you.